Perhaps some of you have heard what happened in Nepal. Government banned social media. And the young men from Generation Z went berserk. With raging fury, they burned the parliament, they destroyed vehicles. And of course, police opened fire and more than 30 young people died and more than 1,000 were injured. Cause ban on social media. Do you think that was the main reason? Well, let's explore. My name is Jivasu. I am the founder of Soma teachings. Soma is a path based on science and body for complete health and transformation. It is accessible to all, regardless of age, ability, and body. So let's go into some depth why it happened in Nepal. It could happen elsewhere. And I assure you, in small doses, it is happening all over the world. First of all, in Nepal, the frustration among youth was increasing. And the reason for it, we are living in a globalized culture. We are in connection with more than 200 countries. We know what is happening in politics, in economics, in technology, in ecology, in fashion, in movies, in sports, all the time, 24 hours. So now what happened when we are in some deep connection because of the communication and transformation, we constantly compare ourselves with others. So comparison is not only confined to a village, to town, city, province, or even our own country, it is global. And that brings discontent and despair. Why? There is always a better person than me. There is a prettier person than me. There is a richer person than me. There is a more creative person than me. There is a more spiritual person than me, more powerful. So once these young people, and particularly if we don't have so much wealth, riches, there is a constant sense of envy. And what envy causes to us? Despair, discouragement, stress, rage. Why I'm like that? Why I can't reach the top? So that is one piece of it. Enough is never enough anymore because of this comparison. Second aspect is our old identities which rooted us in our body, in our family, in our community, in our village are loosening or disappearing. So think of last 50 years. From joint family to nuclear family, or even now they are falling apart. Our religions are fading. Our villages are disappearing. We may live in a village, but we don't know the next neighbor. We are communicating with a person who is 1,000 kilometers away, but not with our neighbors. So are the communities. And because the world is becoming virtual, so we are disconnected from our bodies. So think of envy, comparison, and losing our identity. We are almost becoming rootless. But we cannot live without some rooting. That is our fundamental nature. So where we do go? Social media. That is why it is called social media, because it provides us with a pseudo social structure society. So we get a new identity, because old identity is fading, weak and disappeared. So this new identity is our social media identity, a digital identity in cyberspace made up of pixels. So what we do, we bring out the best in us and put a post. And what that post does, it will get responses. So now we eagerly, anxiously await for notification and likings and comments. That is well and good. The question is what it does to our brain. It allows our brain to release a tiny, tiny droplet of dopamine. So if you go into the deep research of social media phenomena, you will find dopamine. Dopamine is a reward chemical. But what happens is even more interesting, that it is not only when we get response, actually it is the anticipation of the reward or response that is what excites us. And it is the same brain network which is activated in cocaine addiction. So now, with this globalized world, weak identity, addiction to social media, actually it becomes a hard addiction. Like cocaine, in a milder form, but long-term consequences are the same. So if you ask young people, listen, can you go off social media for 3 days? You are basically writing their death warrant. They won't accept it. Because it creates the same reaction as withdrawal of a drug. And what happens in withdrawal of a drug, the drug addict craves, will try to get that drug at all cost. All of us know. And that is what happened in Nepal. Social media was not the sole thing responsible, but already there was a problem, because these very frustrated young men who see all these images, flashy images of different people, different things, they want to grab that. It's very natural. And they have such a weak rooting into traditional identities. And with that addiction, so this was the last nail. And once they stopped, they just went into fury. And the massive destruction, so much so that Nepal's Prime Minister has to escape. So they choose now a new interim minister, and the whole social media ban is reversed. So question comes, what to do about it, knowing the very negative side of it? First of all, we cannot stop it. It is going to be integrated in our lives more and more, because in the future, it will be embedded in our body. For the time being, it is all outside, but time is not too far. All the chips and little devices will be the part of this body. Complete integration. I think this phenomena is called singularity, where technology and living body, they become one. So we cannot stop it. But what we can do, going along with it, we can replug into our body. And that is what Soma does. Soma is not for these Puritans. Everything will be purified, perfect, and so on. And no. Fact is going to stay with us, but can we bring, by feeling our breath, feeling sensation, feeling our heart, whatever is happening in our gut, a little bit more connection. And actually it's a very interesting news because it's already started to happen in schools in Australia and United States through interoception. Interoception is basically somatic awareness. It's a tool. Many books are written about it. But that is for a school. What I can do as a carer, as a parent, as a grandparent, that is what I have to instill in my grandchildren, in my children. From the very beginning, my whole method of upbringing is by touch, by cuddle. So they stay grounded in their body, preserving the connection with the body by massaging their body, taking them to the nature so they could touch all the natural element, allow them to run, to play with the mud, all those kind of things. Because we cannot prevent technology, but slowly what we neglected in the past because we were not aware that this technology will come with such massive force, we bring the old style, fuse them too. Of course, there is a more to it, so we will continue. Please check for our next video and give your comments so we can further add into it, and visit our website for our program in person, online. We would like to hear from you. So please write to us. Thank you very much.